So Jebb, my first question for you, and I just want to ask you some general questions regarding ERP. So to start off, how would you define ERP for our listeners who may not be familiar with the term?
Sure. My thought of ERP is a software system that it helps run your entire business operations with integrated applications. And in our case, includes a warehouse management system, purchasing, order management, financials, and business intelligence. So it's a way of seamlessly sharing that data throughout the ERP system that allows our customers to achieve their goals.
And so based on that definition, Jebb, as you know, there are many tier one players and kind of different layers of ERP vendors, right, that provide various ERP functionality. In your opinion, what are the benefits of choosing a niche ERP platform and partner? So just to elaborate, Jebb, you've got the big ERP players that I think sometimes try to be everything to everybody. And then you have more of the specialized niche ERP players that maybe cater to specific industry or according to a specific business model. What would you say? I mean, what's your opinion on the benefits of choosing a niche player or ERP platform and partner versus one that's, tries to be all things to all people?
Sure. Yeah. I think there's a huge benefit to choosing an ERP system that's designed specifically for a niche vertical market because we have the opportunity to learn exactly what the specific requirements are in our industry from our users. And the implementation process is pretty straightforward based on our knowledge of the industry and our knowledge of what type of customers we're dealing with. I know that I've certainly experienced some very lengthy, bulky ERP implementations that were attempted by some of the larger ERP vendors that you mentioned, simply because there's so much customization, so much modification that has to occur, whereas our system in a niche market is clean and plugs into the requirements pretty easily.
Yeah. And so, Jebb, from your experience, how would you describe the success rates of ERP implementations in the field in general? I'm not referring specifically to creative data research, but just in general, when you look around at the field and the ERP space in general, do you have any thoughts or opinions on success rates of ERP implementations?
And you're referring from the big players down to niche.
Yeah, just in general. Yeah, pretty vague, pretty general, but yeah.
Yeah. I feel like in general, ERP implementations can be more complicated and more difficult than they actually are. In general, I feel like at the end of the day, they are, for the most part, successful, and then the end user gains the benefit of it. It's just a matter of how it can be made more efficient so that it's not such a laborious process for the end user.
Yeah. Well, Jebb, let me drill into that question just a little bit, or a follow-up to that question. So if you were to lead, you or anybody on your team, if you're leading a kickoff meeting for an organization just starting an ERP implementation, how would you define and describe success in terms of ERP organizational change within your client's organization?
Yeah, the first thing I would emphasize is that the project needs buy-in from top to bottom, from the president of the company to somebody who's picking orders in the warehouse or who's working on financials or doing a truck delivery. I think it's important for the executive team to achieve that buy-in throughout their organization and explain to the entire organization that there will be a change in processes in the way their business processes currently are. They're going to change. Not all of them will, but some of them will. So our most successful implementations have been with companies that have complete buy-in from top to bottom and have a willingness to accept change. And that's a difficult thing for some people. I've seen some of the most dug-in employees that are very resistant to change at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They love what they see when they get it.
Yeah. Yeah, and Jebb, I think part of the any ERP organizational change effort should entail some time spent, because it's time well spent, discussing success, defining success. What are the metrics? What does it look like? Number one, I think success, or the idea of success, or even the perception of success from the stakeholders, it can fluctuate throughout the entire implementation process. You kind of go through good times and bad times, let's say. But I also think it can become very subjective. it can become very almost personal sometimes, like you said, and especially the idea of organizational alignment and setting the tone from the top down and really being clear on what does success mean? Does success mean like absolute perfection? Probably not. But
Right.
does it mean that you're going to have challenges and that's okay, that you're going to take on risk and that's okay, and you're going to have some frustrations and that's okay? And I think that is critical to have those conversations right on the onset and really level set the organization with not only what the expectations are, but then how do you define success at the end of the day? And I think that can eliminate a lot of noise post go live, especially.
For sure. I think it's important to let the company that's bringing in the new ERP system know that it'll require work. It's not easy. And, they're running their business while implementing a new system. And at the end of the day, though, the reward is there.